We are convened today in view of events of an extraordinary and alarming character. The element of disunion which, in a portion of the United States for many years, vented itself in threats and menaces, has culminated in open rebellion, and an unnatural and causeless civil war has been precipitated against the general government. Unprincipled and ambitious men have organized a despotism and an armed force for the purpose of overthrowing the government which the American people have formed for themselves, and of destroying that constitutional framework under which we've enjoyed peace and prosperity, and from a small and feeble people grown and expanded to a rank among the first nations of the earth. From every part of the country, in all the loyal states, there is one united voice for sustaining the Union, the Constitution, and the integrity of the United States government. All partisan differences are ignored and lost in the higher principle of patriotism. In this patriotic enthusiasm, Vermont eminently participates. Her citizens, always loyal to the Union, will, in this hour of peril, nobly rally for the protection of the government and the Constitution. The occasion is an extraordinary one. Intelligence reaches us that the Virginia Convention of Delegates has in secret session passed an ordinance of secession, and that the governor of the state has assumed to order the seizure of the United States forts, arsenals, and vessels within the limits of that state. The federal capital is menaced by an imposing and well-armed military force, and the government itself and the National Archives are in immediate peril. Such is the emergency in view of which I invoke your immediate action. The legislatures of other states have made liberal appropriations and extensive military arrangements for aiding the government, and their citizens are hastening to the rescue of our country's flag. We shall discredit our past history should we, in this crisis, suffer Vermont to be behind her sister states in her patriotic sacrifices for the preservation of the Union and the Constitution. The United States government must be sustained and the rebellion suppressed at whatever cost of men and treasure. And it remains to be seen whether the vigorous preparations that are being made and the immense military force called into service by the President are not the most probable and certain measures for a speedy and successful solution of the question.
Soon after convening, House Speaker Augustus Huntoon appointed a select committee to draft a report in response to the governor's message. The Senate appointed a like committee. The House report read in part as follows.
We utterly repudiate the doctrine that a state may secede from the Union. As I have said, if one state may secede, all may. No government can possibly be constructed on such a basis and live, because it embraces within itself the seed of its own dissolution. However much Vermont deprecates the horror of civil war, she believes that the triumph of rebellion and the anarchy and confusion necessarily resulting therefrom would be infinitely more deplorable, as it would result in the loss of our blood-bought civil liberties and the entire subversion of the idea of free government. The issue now before the loyal states is whether treason and rebellion shall carry its piratical banner triumphantly through the land, whether the central government, Constitution, and Union shall be overturned, and our people be subject to the rule of traitors and rebels, and whether we will defend our liberties, protect and maintain our government, and hand down to future generations those institutions established by Washington and his compatriots of the War of Independence. Vermont, on this question, has no hesitation in avowing her choice. She assures her sister states and the executive authority of the Union that she is ever loyal and true, and will do her part in this hour of trial and danger.
By late Friday, the business of the extra session had been completed. Lieutenant Governor Levi Underwood addressed the Senate.
Senators, the business of the session has been brought to a close. It has been the most important session that any legislative body has ever had in this state. Within the past week, we have sought the largest sum of money that has ever been raised in the state of Vermont, and for a most important purpose. We have appropriated the sum of $1 million for the purpose of maintaining our national flag and resisting rebellion to our common country. That flag has been grossly insulted. But that's not where our patriotism ends. It becomes our duty to vindicate the honor of our flag and to resent that insult. And the many insults that have been spoken by the voice of an indignant people, we must respond, and respond by way from the mouths of thousands of cannon. We have resolved to draw the sword, and may now swear by the God of all battles that that sword shall never be returned to its scabbard, as long as the voice of treason shall be raised in violation of our country's laws. The time having arrived then, by joint resolution of the two houses, I am required to adjourn this session, this very special session that will remain in the minds and the hearts of millions and Vermonters in the future. So thereby, I declare the same adjourned without delay.
According to historian Gigi Benedict, within 24 hours, a bill appropriating $1 million for war expenses had passed both houses by unanimous votes, and in 42 hours from the time it met, the legislature had completed its work and adjourned, having also passed acts for the organizing, arming, and equipping of 6 more regiments, in addition to the one already called for 2 years of service, giving to each private $7 a month of state pay, in addition to the $13 offered by the government, providing for the relief of the families of volunteers at state expense in cases of destitution, committing to the governor the duty of organizing the regiments and appointing field officers thereof, and laying the first war tax of 10 cents on the dollar of the grand list. This rapid dispatch of business showed the intense desire of the people to immediate action. In the appropriation of $1 million, a much larger sum than had as yet been voted by any state in proportion to population, and in the provisions for the recruiting of volunteers for 2 years, while as yet the government had called for only 3 months' troops, and for adding to the quota called for 6 more regiments. The legislature expressed the general conviction of its members that the war was not to be one of short duration or small dimensions. And in these respects, as well as the unanimity and stern resolution which characterized all the action and utterances of the session, the legislature well represented the people of Vermont. A great wave of patriotism swept the land. The heather was on fire, said Tickner. War meetings were quickly organized throughout Vermont to encourage enlistments. Now, it is my great pleasure to move to a little entertainment here. We brought in the best that Vermont has to offer for musical entertainment about the Civil War, of course. And we've turned, of course, to Pete Sutherland, Patty Casey, and Colin McCaffrey.
See